But what were you afraid of?
I was afraid of everything. I was afraid of, I don't know. When I say everything, I can't even think of how to summarize it, because I was afraid that if I wasn't home enough, then I wouldn't be a good mother. And my friends who all stayed home were judging me. I was afraid that if I was too successful, then it would make my husband feel smaller because he's the man and I'm very, very, very traditional. And the whole role reversal I didn't like anyway, but I was doing well, so it's the right thing for the family. So I made myself smaller, oh my gosh, in every way, to try to make sure everybody around me didn't feel like I thought I was all that on TV and all the things. And then I was afraid to address the issues because I'm Catholic and we don't get divorced. You don't do that. I was afraid of the judgment. I was afraid God would be mad at me. The fear was everywhere. And then you're not enough racially, right? Because I'm not white and I'm not black. And so then you have to choose. And if I say this, then I'll be too white. If I say this, then I'll be too black. And then I'm different. I'm not black enough because I have white hair. That it went everywhere. And so then, okay, I'm doing well and I was good at my job and I worked my butt off and everybody was happy. And then I had these things were happening in society where I'm like, that's wrong. That's not okay. But if I say something, then I'll be too far over here. And then I won't be liked by the left and people who look like me so you just stay silent. And then I would speak up.
This makes my head hurt just thinking about it.
Do you see why? This is why probably why my hair's curly, because it's just everything. But it was smarter to stay quiet, Glenn. So much smarter. From every perspective, certainly for work, financially. I mean, what I've lost financially is insane. But God, it feels good to be true to myself in every way now. And to realize that if I'm leading with my heart, and if I'm doing it in what I believe is the right way, leading with kindness, but strength as well, man, if you don't like me, that's kind of on you. Because I'm actually a really nice person and loyal and supportive. And if you don't like me because of my opinion, that's on you. It just took half a century to get there, and that's really annoying. But now, because of all the people I was around, including my leaders and bosses and teammates and coworkers and peers and people in my personal life, which I've made kind of obvious here, when you live in fear, I can't be around you because I need someone to continue to uplift me as well. Let's make a team. We're going to do this together. And I shudder at the thought of what my life would look like if I had continued to live in that fear, whether it be with my opinions, standing up about what I thought was wrong with forcing someone to put a shot in their body that's an experimental, unproven shot, or even if I had lived in fear of what everyone would think of me for making the decision to end my marriage and where I would be today. Even though I have no idea what tomorrow is, I don't know what my professional life is going to turn out to be. I don't know if my little show is going to work. I don't know if I'm going to get married again. I don't know if my kids are going to hate me or like me tomorrow. It depends on how much I give them for spring break. I don't know, but I'm okay with it. And it's just, I'm so grateful that God has allowed, and it's all God, has allowed me to say trust. That day in the shower, when I saw the angel in the ugly brown marble, I feel like it was a turning point, and I have trusted with every aspect of my life, and the fear has gone away. What a blessing to have been canceled 150 times, to have been embarrassed intentionally by my company, intentionally. What a blessing to have lost all the money that was right there on the table for me to take. What a blessing for some family members to be like, she's a nut job, keep her away. What a blessing to have been called a sellout, other names I won't say. People I thought were friends to go away and say, yeah, I'll be friends with her, but don't put it on Instagram. Don't show anybody that I'm having lunch with her. I swear to you, I'm so grateful for every moment because God has been there every step. He always was. I just wasn't willing to see it. Sorry, that was not soundbite length. I'm very sorry.
No. No.
No more fear. No more.
I think that's the most common, I think that's the most human thing that we all have in common as fear. I know I'm an alcoholic, but when I was a practicing alcoholic, it all came from the fear of, I don't want people to find out about this or who I am, or I'm not sure I am any good. I know all of this crap. And we're all just living in fear. And when we admit it,
yeah,
and when we let others see it,
yeah,
two things happen, I think, at least it did in my life. One, you find real people.
Yeah.
You find people are coming up to you and going, I can't believe you did that, but thank you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And can we get some Kleenex? And
sorry.
The other thing is you become the most powerful person on the planet. Everybody is afraid of you. And they're afraid of you because they can't manipulate you. You should be, and I think you probably are, the most predictable person in anyone's life. Because you're so clear on what's true and you're not afraid to walk away. That terrifies people.
It does.
It's wonderful, isn't it? I mean, not the terrifying them, but it's wonderful.
It is. And I never knew. And every time I've shared a little bit, probably started in like 2018, after the first time I got canceled in 2017. Every time I shared something, thank you. She did a great job on my makeup today too. Goodness gracious. You'll let me know if it sticks to my face.
I will.
Every single time I've opened up about anything personally, which I was afraid to, you try to protect your kids, try to protect everything. I still try to, believe it or not. Professionally, about the decision to stand up and sue the employer that I loved. Every time I have received such a gift and one response from somebody on social media, on an email, at an airport, in a women's restroom, at a restaurant. The number of people now who come up to me, grown men in tears, thanking me because they're afraid to say something about women's sports and keeping men out of them for their daughters. It has overwhelmed me. And that's what I'm trying to do on my little show as well. It's like every time we open up, not only are we helping ourselves, we're helping others. And they say, oh my gosh, this person that looks like they have it all together and on TV and famous and money and all that, they're going through that too. So I now believe that, like, it is what it is. I don't even care. Think I'm a loser because I cry too much. But
you're with me.
I know. Exactly. But like, we are helping others just by being true to ourselves.
Yeah, I know.
And that is a gift. And I know that there's some strength in that. But to me, the credit has to go back to my faith.
I wouldn't have done it without faith.
No way. And what you have chosen to overcome and address, whether it's right here or in any other way, that's the win. And I actually think that that's how we all heal and recover as a society, is we stop trying to be so damn perfect and keep it all together and be so, like, no, I mean, do you see this hair? Like, there are so many imperfections here that now I just embrace them.
Stop talking about your beautiful hair.
Okay,
look at mine. Look at mine, then look at yours.
Guess
Stop.
What? Naturally, mine is the same color as yours. Believe it.
No.
100%. I'll show you later. The roots are back here. But I'm so great. This is what I said to my kids, whether it be speaking up, standing up for yourself, or in relationships. please don't waste my pain. Please take my crap and use it and be better and smarter and wiser and fearless. And I'm so glad. And Glenn, the day before my lawsuit dropped in April of 2022, I spoke to each of my kids separately to say, this is what's happening tomorrow. One was in college and then 2 were in high school. And I just want you to know that this is probably going to be ugly. I don't want you to defend me. This is about free speech. And
you
that's
and I
why
have
I'm
so
doing
much
this.
in common. I had the same conversation with my
your
kids.
Oh my God. Like, I just didn't want them to feel the need to defend me, because it does get old. And teachers and coaches and other parents would say things to my kids. And I was like, tell them to talk to your mother. And that's when the ugly Sage will come out, because you touch my kid, I will cut you, I will hurt you, and I'll go to prison for you. But I said, don't defend me. Just remind people that everybody has a right to their own opinion and diversity of thought. That's all you have to say. And I said, but I'm sorry for what is to come, because I know it's going to be ugly, but just know I cannot be quiet anymore. And I'm so sorry, but I love you. And do you know, each of them received it differently. My son, who's in the middle, I always say between my 2 crazy daughters, my saint son, who's like, oh boy, he's going to be the best partner someday. My son stopped what he was doing and he looked at me and he said, Mom, it's about time you stood up for yourself. He was 17. I thought I was protecting my kids this whole time by staying quiet. And in the meantime, what did they see? They saw me being quiet and afraid and not true to myself and small. And so I'm teaching them. We're teaching our kids to be strong and to do all those things. But what example are we showing them? The opposite. Shame on me. So I knew at that moment that even if Disney won, hello, David versus Goliath, they could bleed me dry in 5 minutes.
One thing
Even
they do
if
well
Disney
is litigate.
won, very good. Very well. Even if they won, I actually just won. Because my kid, they saw me saying enough. I knew my career there was going to be over. When you sue your company, it's over. And by the way, I was still on air for 16 months after that lawsuit dropped. So I was sued them while on their screen every single day. And it was so scary every day to walk in there and do those live shows. But my kids saw their mom supporting them, supporting everybody, and fighting. And so I did know at that point that I'm here for more on this earth, to be their mama, even when I drive them crazy, which is a lot, and to use my voice. I knew I was done at ESPN. I didn't know what was next, but to help others who also lived in fear. And I know now that that's why God has me here.